Cardon Children's Medical Center, providing comprehensive pediatric care for Arizona's families.
With the new law, it's very important that we get those kids from 40 pounds to 8 years old in a booster seat, according to the law. Now, we also have to remember that cars are made for adults. They're not made for children. So we'd like every child to stay in a booster till about 4'9". Your average 8-year-old is 4'1" tall. The seatbelt is meant to work with hard bones. So that's bones in your shoulder and bones down in your lap. If the seatbelt is riding on their stomach, then they could get a lot of injuries from that. So they always need to keep it straight down on their lap and up on their shoulder. So we have Max here. He's 6 years old. He's over 40 pounds, but he's still under 4'9", and he's under the age of 8. So he's gonna put on his booster seat. So Max, go ahead and put on your seatbelt for me.
Yes.
Max is in a backless booster, which really works well for him because he has a head restraint, so something to protect his head. If this wasn't here, Max would have to have a high back booster. So Max, go ahead and put on your seatbelt.
Yes.
All right, Max did a great job here. You see, that as when he put it on, he made sure that it was in the belt path here. And when he comes over, it goes perfectly on his shoulder. If the children don't really get the right belt path, then you'll still have the shoulder belt cutting on their neck. And if a shoulder belt is cutting on the neck of a child, you'll see that they will take that shoulder belt, just like some adults do, and they'll put it down underneath their arm, or they'll truly just take it and throw it away behind their back. If Max was having problems and this was still cutting on his neck, we could actually attach this, but this would just go like this, right on the seat, and just keep it over. We never want to add anything to your seatbelt. The way your seatbelt came is the way that it was designed to work. So a lot of pads or different things are called non-regulated products. They're products that are just out there. They've never been crash tested, so we don't want to add things to our seatbelt. When Max was getting in earlier, right at first he started to do this. That's probably one of the most common mistakes kids make, is that they don't follow the belt path, which is right here. So make sure that you teach your kid that that goes under and that goes under over there. Every parent should double check to make sure their kid is sitting in the seat correctly. If you have a child in just a lap belt, in a crash, they can actually call what we call taco over the belt. Their spinal cord is not developed until the age of 12. So their spinal cord can actually stretch, it can start to bleed, it can get all swollen, and it can die. And then you can get kids that are paralyzed by just having that lap belt on. Tyler is 4 years old, but he's over 40 pounds, so he can also go in a backless booster or in a high back booster. When you're looking at the younger kids and you're getting them in their booster seats, always, again, make sure that you talk to them about putting it through the belt path. You don't want this to go over the armrest, because a lot of kids will do that. You want to keep it under the armrest, and as long as that stays under the armrest, it's going to go right perfectly on his shoulder. If you take a child that was used to a 5-point harness and then you take them out and let them get in a booster seat, they have a lot more freedom. So it's truly teaching them to stay back. They have to stay in their seat. They can't be moving around so that they will be safe in a seat. Those kids need to know what could happen if they get out of their seat. If they are getting out of their boosters, there's vests and other car seats that go higher than 40 pounds with a harness, and you might need to resort back to that. Two important things that parents always need to read. They need to read the owner's manual to their car, and they also need to read the instruction book to their booster seat. This is the registration card that comes with the seat. Make sure you fill it out and send it in. If there's any recall on your seat, they will let you know. The other thing that you really want to look at on your seat is they'll have instructions. So it says seat belt path here. And it comes with those instructions and will show you what not to do. If you have any questions on your seat, you can always call the manufacturer and just give them these numbers on the seat here, and they will be able to tell you recall. They will also be able to tell you your expiration date. If the expiration date isn't clearly marked on the seat, just give them a call and they can tell you exactly when the seat expires. If a belt is all twisted and it's not laying flat, the seat belt is this wide for a reason. It spreads the crash forces. I always have parents take their finger and put it really hard into their forearm. If I made you do that for 20 minutes, you might get a bruise. If you take your whole hand, put the same amount of pressure, what you just did was spread those crash forces. It doesn't hurt as bad than when it's just like this. So if you have a twisted belt, it's not going to be as wide as it needs to be, and it won't spread those crash forces. You want to see what airbags you have in your vehicle. If you look right up here on this car, there's a mark that actually says that there's a side airbag. There's also a tag on the driver's seat here that talks about side airbags. So airbags will always be marked in the car, so you have to make sure that you look for those. If you let your children lay like this in the car, just remember those airbags are going to go off and he's going to be right where the airbags are. So this is never what you want them to do. You always want them to be perfectly upright, just like Sam's being, and they need to stay in that position. If they're not doing that, then you might need to look into a high back booster to keep them in that position where they're supposed to be every single time that they're in the car. The thing about the high back boosters is that they offer head protection. They also offer some side impact protection. Make sure that the kids are never leaning against the doors, always are staying upright in their seats. So sometimes for the younger kids, it's better to have these high back boosters so that they truly stay in position where they belong. If we take this seat and follow the belt path, then this has a guide for the shoulder belt. You just put this in and make sure that the shoulder belt stays right on the shoulder. At this seat, the head will adjust up or down as needed for the kids. If the kids are falling asleep a lot in the car, then they really do have a little bit of head support there. Also, when we're dealing with carpools, we always need to have the right amount of boosters. You can get backless boosters. They can run as low as $13 to $20. And you need to make sure that you have enough booster seats for the number of children you are taking. The other thing that becomes an issue is, of course, that front seat. You need to remember that the cars say children need to stay in the back seat. So when we think of children, you know, what ages are we talking? Well, children range from the age of 1 to 12, and then teenagers, of course, start at 13. So it's teenagers that can sit in the front seat because the airbag is so dangerous for children. You're sitting perfect in that seat. Can I get a high five? Thank you, buddy. Awesome.
I turn my seat down.
We can take it off now. You did a good job.
Awesome.